Hello friends, on this channel, every time we hit a multiple of 10,000 subscribers, we manual the number in centimeters. Since we hit 60k, I'm manualing 600 meters, which is 1.5 laps on a running track. The quick story behind this manual is that I was out filming a trick for my video part at that white ledge-to-ledge spot that you might have seen. Then I decided to try this manual at a hill nearby before the sunset. I got this clip right on the cusp of it being too dark to film anymore. Anyways, in the short form of this video, I asked you all to ask me questions, so now I'm going to be answering them. First question, could you please do a manual tutorial? Absolutely I can. I actually made this tutorial a few years ago and it's the most common request I get. I put a link in the description and pinned comment, but if you have more questions, feel free to drop a comment. How do I ollie than manual? I can't figure it out. I do agree with the reply to your comment that it's easier to ollie up onto something because there's less impact. The one quick tip I can give right now is that you need to be preparing to manual in midair before you even land. Imagine holding a manual on flat. Your front foot would be higher than your back foot and your arms would be out for balance. So after you pop your ollie, you should be trying to get into that manual position before you land. This might mean leaving your arms raised mid-ollie or trying to land with your front foot a little higher than your back foot. I hope this helps a little, and I'll be working on a full tutorial on ollie to manual soon. Could you do a video about cruising around the city without needing to ollie or stop? I do actually have a tutorial about getting up curbs without an ollie, so I'll link that in the description too. I have a joke video about how to get over cracks, but I can definitely make a serious tutorial about how to do this. Could you have done this 60k manual in nose manual? Is nose manual more challenging and why? Impressive and fun to watch you do these long manuals. Thanks for the kind words. I would be capable of doing this in nose manual, but I wouldn't ever attempt to do it for safety reasons. In my opinion, the balance and skill required to hold a nose manual is the same as for a tail manual. The only reason that nose manuals are harder or more challenging is because they're significantly more dangerous than a tail manual. In a tail manual, if you scrape your tail, you're all good. You'll wear down your tail a little bit, but you can usually slide to a stop safely. In a nose manual, if your nose touches the ground, your board is usually coming to an immediate stop. At higher speeds, this probably means you're going to eat concrete if your nose touches. Now, if you gave me a simulation where I could reset and undo injuries if I fell, then that danger aspect wouldn't be a problem, and I could probably nose manual any hill that I could tail manual. Until then, I'm only doing huge hills in tail manual though. Can you talk about if you balance toe side or heel side with normal manuals? I've actually seen a few manual tutorials where people mention that locking in by leaning to one side or the other helps you balance. In my opinion, this is a myth, and I think you should try not to lean to one side when you manual. For example, stand on one foot and try to balance on your tippy toe. Then try to balance with only your heel on the ground. Then try to balance with your foot flat. When your foot is flat, you're able to use your calf to make small balance corrections towards your heel or toe. Leaning all the way to one side or the other takes that option away, which makes it harder. I will say that during some of my longest manuals, the calf of my back foot got super tired, so I had no choice but to start leaning heel side to take weight off my calf. As for the front foot, I've always advocated for rolling or tweaking your front foot onto the pinky toe to control the board. So I'd say that my front foot weight is either flat on the board or leaning towards the pinky toe. When is the 4 or 5 year skate progression coming? Thanks for asking about this. I've actually been filming for a street part, which technically could double as my 5-year progression video. When people ask me when I want to publish it, I'm reluctant to give a date or a general time frame because I really want to take my time with this part and make sure it's everything I wanted it to be. I will say that I'm more than halfway done filming based on how long I want the part to be, and I'll keep y'all posted when it's almost ready. I just like your vids, thanks dude. Thanks so much. Comments like these motivate me to keep making videos, so I really appreciate that. What tips can you give me to help work on my balance, and any advice for nose manuals? First of all, that's super cool that you're getting back into skating after a 30-year hiatus, so props to you. When I was learning to manual, I used to put my board on a PVC pipe and use that as a balance board. I actually specifically trained nose manual balance by having the PVC pipe closer to the nose of the board while balancing. Also, it's safer to do this with a deck that has trucks on it, so your board can't roll off the PVC pipe. As for nose manual advice, you know how for tail manuals, I've always told people to tweak their front foot onto its side to control the board? The equivalent concept for a nose manual is to move weight onto the big toe of your back foot to control the balance. But in nose manual, instead of focusing on the foot or the ankle, I focus on the knee of my back leg. By moving your back knee towards the nose, the weight of your back foot will shift towards the big toe, and that lets the tail rise higher into the air. Move that back knee towards the tail, and the weight of your back foot will be evenly distributed across the ball of your foot, and that pushes the tail back down. I'll also make a video explaining this more, but I hope that makes sense. Anyways, that was all I had for this Q&A video. Thank you to everyone who asked me questions, and thank you for supporting this channel. Skating and making videos is one of the things I enjoy the most, and I really appreciate that some of you take the time to watch me skateboard. Have fun skating, y'all.